friends, and welcome back to Ghouls Night In, the spooky chat show with your best ghoul friends. I'm Penny Snark.
And I'm Midge Munster. And today's episode suggestion actually came from our Discord channel.
Hey!
So I wanted to just start out right from the top reminding y'all that if you've got a topic that you're dying for us to cover, one of the best ways to get that info to us is by joining us over there.
It's so true.
We have a whole channel dedicated to episode suggestions, and this one comes to us from Sarah. So thank you, Sarah, and I hope you enjoy.
I'm intrigued.
So as this episode is coming out on the eve of October, I thought it'd be fun to get a little extra spooky. And Penny, do you know, because you're an encyclopedia-like human, do you know what pediophobia is?
Ooh, is it a fear of children? Feet or children?
Somewhat children. It's specifically the fear of dolls.
Oh.
And if you were a person who experiences this fear, boy, do I have a doozy for you today. So we are venturing just south of Mexico City to Xochimilco to learn about the story of La Isla de las Muñecas, or the Island of Dolls.
I am familiar with this island.
I was gonna say, I literally have in my notes, now Penny, this seems like something you definitely know about.
Yeah.
Surely Penny knew about this before. What's your experience with the Island of Dolls?
Ooh, I don't remember when I was first introduced to it, but I definitely I know that there was famously some ghoul boys visited, and of course, very topical, Midge, it does appear in the new Lady Gaga video.
It sure does. So yes, that is, I think, why for a lot of people it is top of mind right now,
Yes.
or maybe you're learning about it for the first time right now, because yes, the Dead Dance from Wednesday, the show Wednesday, Lady Gaga filmed a music video for that on the Island of Dolls, and you've hit perfect into my next thought here, because I know a lot of ghost hunting shows have visited the Island of Dolls, and as you mentioned, the Ghoul Boys have been there, which I swear this happens all the time, where like I am, we went together.
Yeah.
I am a fan of Shane and Ryan. We know this. But I swear all the time, I'm like, this is the first I'm ever hearing of this thing. Like, see Jeff the Mongoose.
Yeah.
And then when I go to start researching, an episode from Shane and Ryan is like the first thing to pop up.
And to be fair, they make a lot of videos.
I'm like, I'm either bad at watching or this is the power of ADHD. Just immediately forgetting
Just
information.
erased. Yep.
Yeah.
Also possible.
So that being said, if this topic interests you, there are a lot of fun things out there you can watch people investigating and stuff like that if that's your bag. But today we're going to focus on the story and the person behind the Island of Dolls. And I actually did not have, at least to my knowledge of this place. So when Sarah brought it up in Discord and someone else was like, oh yeah, that's where Lady Gaga filmed the music video. And I was like, oh, cool. And I was picturing like an island.
Yeah.
Like a large mass of land covered in dolls. But the Island of Dolls is actually part of what is called a chinampa. And this is a Mesoamerican farming technique in which like small rectangular plots of land are used for crops, and they are in shallow water so that it allows for optimal moisture retention. So on the canals here, it's perfect for this because there's a shallow canal of water off these lakes with multiple small plots of land. And these plots are only accessible by these beautiful, colorful, gondola-like boats called trajineras, and they traverse through this network of canals that is a remnant from a large lake system that once covered the Valley of Mexico. And these waterways have become really popular for tourists, but also for locals. It's not uncommon to see families on these boats dining and having live musicians playing, just enjoying the waterways. It's like a nice, fun, uplifting time.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've got famously a river going through my city, and people do love to cruise.
Love to cruise, exactly. But amongst all this, there is also one small plot of land that has hundreds of dolls.
It's like, oh, it's this lovely family-friendly place, but there is one spot.
It is one small menacing thing that you just have to kind of float past. And the dolls are, hanging from trees, nailed to walls, tied to fences. They have been left exposed to the elements, so there's a lot happening. It's a very haunting sight. Now, this may kind of seem like a weird little tourist trap for horror lovers. It seems like it would be kind of a roadside Americana-esque vibe. But it is actually the work of one man named Don Julian Santana Barada, and records indicate that he moved to the island sometime around 1950. I saw varying things. Some said as early as 1943. Most said somewhere between 1949 to 52. But by all accounts of local people, he was a really quiet man. Most articles that I read called him reclusive, which I think you would have to be.
That kind of makes sense.
To live on a plot of land by yourself that is only accessible by an hour-long gondola ride. You have to be pretty okay with being a hermit. But regardless of his separation from the world, he has definitely become the stuff of legends in the local sphere. Now, like many things that we have talked about on the pod, bear in mind as we move forward into this that much of this story is just that. It is local legend. There is little to no documentation of what is true, other than we know that Barara was a very real man with a very real collection of very frightening dolls.
Yep. These things are true.
The facts were these. But the story goes that Barara found the body of a young girl who had drowned in the canal just outside of his farming island. And some versions of this story say that he actually saw her die and was unable to help her or rescue her. Others, again, say that she died years before he got to the island. But either way, there is this sense that there was a death of a young child that haunted him. There are versions that claim he heard her spirit calling for her doll. Others say that he found a doll in the canal the next day after he witnessed her body and assumed that it belonged to her. So whether it was an act of, reverence and sorrow or fear if he was hearing this spirit, he hung the doll on a tree to either give the spirit the doll, or, again, some say that this was kind of like a talisman to ward off her spirit.
Sure. Much like our gargoyle question.
Well, that's actually. When Penny and I started recording this, I said, you and I were kind of on the same trajectory this week. Not really, but same, but different.
Yeah.
But yeah, as kind of like here's a scary doll, don't come near me.
Yes.
But whichever it may be, this is far from the last doll that this island sees. Because from that day forward, Barara begins collecting dolls. Any doll he could find. He fished them out of the canals. He picked through like trash in nearby villages to find them. Locals say that he bartered for dolls with his crops from his plot of land to get more. And over the years, the island just becomes entrenched with dolls.
Yeah. Just absolutely lousy with dolls.
Just lousy with dolls. And I mean, we kind of already said this, but I can't reiterate it enough. Like, plastic heads in trees.
Mm-hmm.
We've got kind of like doll wind chime situations in a few places with limbs, and it can't be stressed enough that all these dolls are not intact.
No, yes. It's an assortment.
It's an assortment of dolls. And it's really interesting, of course, because we don't know what the motivation was. Mm-hmm. So there are three huts on the land. There's kind of a smaller shack type building that has a bed. There's another building that has like a place setting with a table and like kind of a dining situation. But the one with the bed in it has the dolls it has dolls inside. So the dolls are not just out in mm-hmm. Out in the land. They are within the home buildings as well. And inside that building, they're very neatly arranged. Like it's very shrine-like almost. But then, out on the land, they're dismembered.
Yeah.
There are like full dolls just nailed to the outsides of buildings, to fence posts, to trees. But again, part of what makes this land so good for farming is that there's a lot of moisture here. So a lot of the dolls have gotten decay, like mm-hmm. mold on the face, deformed, very, very ooky spooky. I don't have a doll thing, but this could give me a doll thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I am not, like, particularly disturbed by dolls, but, like, this quantity and presentation of dolls is definitely spooky.
Spooky, yes. So, again, we don't know why, but it is said that Barara believed that the girl's spirit never left the island, and so the dolls were there to protect him, or that, I mean, there's also, of course, some might look at this as mental illness. However, I do think, I wanted to take a pause here to, like, kind of look at this outside of a sensationalist lens.
Yeah.
And consider kind of the culture through which we're viewing this. Like, Mexico has a very different relationship to death mm-hmm. than a lot of Western cultures. And when, we're looking at something like Day of the Dead, where spirits are kind of welcomed in rather than feared, we could possibly surmise that what he was doing was kind of communing with this spirit he mm-hmm. believed to be there, honoring her through these objects. We see things like, oh my gosh, my brain just lost the word, ofrenda, like like building these kind of shrines for people, loved ones, to come back. So if this girl supposedly was asking him for dolls, he gave them to her.
He sure did.
So it's not unheard of that this could have been more of a reverence thing than a fear thing. But as Penny has already mentioned, what is unusual about this is the sheer scale of it.
Yeah.
And the intensity and the years put into it. That is kind of like, what was going on here?
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I don't know if this is part of what you are going to talk mm-hmm. about, so sorry if I'm squashing on you. But I just think, like, there's so many examples of, like, artists who have, like, transformed, like, an entire yard with, like, junk, or mosaic, and like sometimes that is also just a way that people express a creative urge, is by kind of adopting all these things. So like like you said, it's maybe a little bit of a mental illness, but maybe in like the artsy way too. Like sometimes people are just like fixated on a certain medium or
like
thing, and it can be dolls or trash or items and objects that you kind of are fixated on collecting and presenting in interesting ways.
Yeah, an installation.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of an art installation.
Yeah, very, very fascinating. But of course, because of what it is,
Yes.
over time, a word got out about Doll Island. Because how could it not? Like I said, these canals are used for, tourism and fishing, so people who passed this plot of land could see the dolls hanging in the trees from the water. So naturally, the stories spread quickly. And of course, then, you're building urban legend and lore as well around, like, much like the old man in the dilapidated house in the neighborhood, or what the neighborhood witch, like whatever. People are like, hey, so there's this old man living by himself and his land's covered in dolls. So of course some people thought he had gone mad, but there is a lot of superstition and belief that he was some kind of almost like a shaman, like a guardian of the canal, protecting the waters from angry spirits. Sadly, in April of 2001, after around 50 years living on this plot by himself, he was found dead, floating in the canal. Spooky.
I'm nodding sagely.
Now, of course, things, again, sensationalism, supposedly in the very same spot where he claimed that the girl had drowned. Now, some say that he had a heart attack. Some say that, he drowned accidentally. Of course, there's the belief that the girl's spirit claimed him. Now, one thing that I found particularly interesting, I did read it, and it came up in multiple articles, so I'm not sure how accurate this is, but there are several accounts that say the day he died, that a family member, a nephew, was helping him on the island, and that they were down by the water fishing, and Barara started loudly singing and told his nephew that the mermaids in the water were calling for him. Now, of course, that would be kind of a red flag to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
To maybe not leave my 80-year-old uncle alone by the water. But also, the guy's been collecting dolls and hanging them for trees for 50 years, so who am I to say what's normal for him?
And I was going to say, I feel like, this sounds like a man who does his own thing and does what he wants to do.
Well, and that's, I'm like, if this is kind of his truth, then, like, I can see where maybe a family member was like, Uncle Barara.
Right. Oh, Tio.
Oh, Uncle Julian, you so crazy, and just, like, went about their day. But who knows? But he was found drowned. And after his passing, the family opened up the island for visitors. His cousin Anastasio now has kind of taken over as the informal caretaker of the island. And people, it's a tourism destination. People come, people bring dolls. It is one of the most famous haunted sites in Mexico now, and holds the title of the Guinness Book of World Records largest collection of haunted dolls.
Oh, there you go.
Now, of course, I don't know how we can qualify that, because
I was going to say, how can you tell which of these dolls are haunted? It sounds like the whole island is haunted and the dolls are just there.
By proxy, yeah. But of course, people who visit describe it as having a very heavy atmosphere, report strange things happening with the dolls. Cold spots, the feeling of being watched, which, I mean, how could you not?
Yeah.
With doll heads in
With
trees.
a zillion dolls.
Right. But people do claim that they've seen dolls, turn their heads, or they hear them giggling, cameras malfunctioning when they try to take pictures, the classics
Oh, yeah.
of haunted locale. But the locals do believe that the dolls come to life at night with the spirits of the dead. So, is it haunted? Who's to say? Or is it just that an extremely isolated patch of land covered in dolls is freaky no matter who you are?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's definitely freaky. We can all agree on that.
I think this would heeb your jeebs even as a skeptic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It would just be ooky.
Yeah. Now, as we've talked about with other things, there is, of course, something here to be said about just the effects of long-term isolation that it can have on a person. There is a lot of discourse about whether, Burrar actually believed he was trying to protect himself from spirits, or if it was just the loneliness, placing all these very, humanoid things around.
I thought you were going to say the opposite, that he was like, leave me alone. I'm going to put a bunch of spooky shit out.
And you know what? That's another option. Hey, you kids, keep off my lawn.
Exactly. Keep off my lawn. You can't get on my lawn because there's 1,000 dolls there.
There's 1,000 dolls, and also you have to take a boat here for an hour.
Go for an hour.
But that's, I guess, too, I would maybe believe that to be true if it weren't for that aspect.
Yeah.
I'm like, he was already about as isolated as you can be. Nobody was probably popping up on his land. So there had to be some other motivation there. I don't know. It's both sad and interesting that we'll never really know why he did this. But I will say, a lot of times we talk about these locations and I'm like, oh, I would love to see that. This, I don't know. This, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
But shout out to Lady Gaga for dancing around. Hope you didn't bring anything back with you. Let me know. Let me know if you would go here. If you have been here, I would be fascinated to know if you've seen the Island of Dolls. And again, thank you to Sarah for making me aware that this existed. I had even already watched the music video and I just, didn't think anything of it.
You're just like, wow, Lady Gaga sure set up a lot of dolls for this.
Well, I even had the thought of like, dolls is an interesting choice. I wonder why she did that. But yeah, now we know. That is what I have for you today. If this is new info to you and you want to see some weird pictures of dolls hanging from trees, you should check out our Instagram at Ghouls Night In Pod. And either there or through whatever channel you're listening to us on, you can always leave us a rating or a review. That really helps us find new listeners and tell them about terrifying things. And we, I believe, have a new Apple review to share today.
We sure do. This review appears to just be from spooky ... I thought that it was cut off, but that is all that it says. So there you go. Thank you, Spooky. Titled The Ghouls Night In Podcast is there inside my mind with a ghost. Of course, a reference to our fabulous Phantom episode.
Awesome.
And Spooky writes, my favorite podcast. Every week I look forward to Midge and Penny, two very glamorous ghouls, sharing fun spooky facts and making me laugh, especially with their recent Jeff the Mongoose episode.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Not only that, but I plan on going to Midsummer Scream in 2026, and after learning about the tar pits on their podcast, they have inspired me to add this spooky location to my itinerary list. And y'all have me needing to rewatch Phantom of the Opera ASAP. I can't wait to discover more amazing tales, books, shows, movies, and spooky locations in future episodes. 100 stars.
Whoa, 50
Yeah,
for each of
we
us?
get 50 stars.
That's going to power me up for the next, 6 months.
Right?
Man, I'm really hoping, I mean, I'm speaking for both of us here and without any prior conversation, but I'm really hoping that next year, the 26th, is when you and I get back to Midsummer.
Yes, I would
together.
like that a lot.
Would be great, and maybe maybe we try to do a Ghouls Night meetup at the Tar Pits.
I would love to be with people at the Tar Pits.
Yeah, meet us at the Tar Pits. Well, thank you so much for that review, Spooky. And thank you all for listening. If you would like to connect with us further, like we mentioned at the top of the episode, a great way to do that is over on our Discord. You can find a link for that in the show notes or on our Instagram at Ghouls Night In Pod in the link in the description or in the bio. We also, in that same link, have access to our merch shop, which, we have our classics, Ghouls Night In, and our Those Crazy Victorians merch, but as well as our newish Don't Perceive My Corpse merch, which is super fun, and y'all seem to be enjoying it, so thank you for that. And if you would like to just check out what I'm doing, you can find me all over the web at Midge Munster.
And if you are looking for me, you can find me at Penny Snark.
Ooh, and I'm realizing when this is coming out, we are just a few short days from the release of Midge Munster's campy, kooky, glamorous, and spooky Halloween special featuring one Pennifer Snark as a glorious, gorgeous vampire. So if you are listening to this when it comes out or after, be on the lookout. Be sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and keep an eye for that. We'll definitely share it on the Ghouls Night pages and stuff when it comes out. But I'm so excited, and I really hope you all love it and enjoy it. Shameless plug, but I'm just
yes, I'm so excited.
I'm really excited. But that is all until next time.
Good.